Manipulation doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like your own thoughts. And that's not a metaphor. That's neuroscience. There's a reason you didn't see it coming. There's a reason you explained it away. There's a reason you stayed longer than you should have. None of that is weakness. All of it is biology. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens inside your brain when someone is manipulating you. The specific regions, the specific chemicals, and the specific sequence. By the end, you'll understand your own history differently, not as a series of mistakes, but as a nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do without the right information. 3 parts of your brain, 3 chemicals. 1 sequence that a skilled manipulator, consciously or not, always follows. First, the amygdala, your threat detection system, the part that decides before you can think whether something is safe. Second, cortisol, the stress chemical that floods your system the moment the amygdala fires and keeps your prefrontal cortex, your rational thinking brain, from doing its job. Third, dopamine, the reward chemical, the one that creates the loop you can't explain, why you keep going back to something that hurts you. This is the sequence. This is why it works. Your amygdala processes information faster than your conscious mind. We're talking milliseconds. By the time you've formed a thought about what's happening, your amygdala has already made a decision. A skilled manipulator, consciously or not, learns to speak directly to the amygdala. They create situations where your threat detection system is slightly activated. Never enough to trigger full alarm, but just enough to keep you in a heightened state of alertness, a state where you're more reactive, more suggestible, and less likely to pause and think. The technical term is hypervigilance. The lived experience is simple. Something feels slightly wrong, but you can't name what. When your amygdala fires, cortisol follows. And cortisol does something specific to your brain architecture. It reduces activity in your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for critical thinking, pattern recognition, and saying, wait, something is wrong here. Under sustained cortisol exposure, you don't think less. You think differently. You become more focused on immediate threat resolution, which means you become much more willing to accept whatever makes the discomfort stop. And then there's dopamine. Dopamine isn't released when something good happens. It's released in anticipation of something good happening. It's the chemical of almost love, almost stability, almost what you were promised. Intermittent reinforcement, the unpredictable cycle of warmth and withdrawal, keeps your dopamine system on permanent high alert. You're not addicted to the person. You're addicted to the possibility. Let's run this through a specific example. Love bombing. Phase 1. Intense, overwhelming, positive attention. Your amygdala registers this as safe, extremely safe. Threat detection is low. Dopamine is flooding. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that would normally say this is too fast, something is off, gets temporarily drowned out by the reward signal. This is not weakness. This is your brain working correctly. It is designed to recognize safety signals and relax in their presence. Phase 2. The first withdrawal. The warmth disappears slightly. Your amygdala fires. Cortisol rises. Your prefrontal cortex dims. And dopamine, now conditioned to expect reward, starts searching for it. What will bring it back? What did you do wrong? How do you fix it? You didn't do anything wrong, but your neurochemistry is now searching for a solution to a problem that was designed to have no solution. Here's what I want you to understand. The regions of your brain activated during manipulation are the same regions activated during physical pain. This is not metaphor. This is fMRI data. Social rejection, emotional manipulation, relational instability activate the anterior cingulate cortex, the same structure that processes a broken bone. What you felt was real pain, neurologically real. And now the part most people never get to hear. Your brain is not fixed. Every experience you've had, including the ones that hurt you, has changed your neural architecture. It created pathways, reinforced responses, and built patterns that felt like survival because they were. But the same property that made your brain vulnerable to manipulation, its plasticity, its adaptability, its constant rewriting of itself, is the same property that allows recovery. Neuroplasticity is not a self-help word, it is a clinical fact. Your brain builds new pathways through new information, through new patterns of thought, and through the repeated experience of safety, real safety, not the performed kind. Recovery isn't about being stronger. It's about giving your nervous system evidence, repeated and consistent evidence, that the old rules no longer apply. Your brain will update. That is what it was built to do. So what does this look like in practice? How do you activate your prefrontal cortex when your amygdala is already running the show? 3 questions, simple ones, because your brain under stress needs simple. 1. Am I thinking clearly right now, or am I in a threat response? If you feel urgency, pressure, or the need to resolve something immediately, your amygdala is active. Wait, breathe. The prefrontal cortex comes back online in minutes, not hours. 2. What am I afraid will happen if I don't do this right now? Name the fear out loud. Naming activates the prefrontal cortex, literally. Labeling an emotion reduces amygdala activation. This is not philosophy. This is neuroscience. 3. Would I advise someone I love to do this right now under these conditions? Distance from the situation restores rational thinking. If the answer is no, the answer is no. Your brain was not broken. It was working without the right information. Now you have some of it. Not all of it, but enough to change what happens next time something activates your amygdala. Enough to notice the cortisol. Enough to wait for the prefrontal cortex to come back online. Enough to pause. If this landed, send it to someone who needs language for what they lived through. Next week, we go into something many people don't want to look at directly. Why you always end up apologizing, even when you know clearly and completely that you were right, and what that tells you about what was done to your guilt response. I'll see you there.